Everyone, and welcome to the meeting of the Merrillville Town Council for today, Tuesday, June 24th. Please excuse our tardiness in starting, but we will do so now. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Oh, gracious God, we give you thanks for each new day that you give to us, and we're thankful for this community in which we live. We pray for your blessings upon the deliberations here this evening, that everything would be done in accordance with your will and for the benefit of all, to be done rightly and well. Bless our community, bless those who protect us, bless those who serve. Through Christ our Lord, amen.
Amen. Let's remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you all. Please be seated. Mr. January, would you call the roll, please, of the council?
Sure, Mr. President. Vice President Neal.
Here.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards.
Present.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Present.
Councilwoman Uselak.
Here.
Councilman Pettit.
Here.
Councilwoman Hardaway.
Here.
President Bella.
Here.
7 present.
Very good. Moving on tonight to petitions, communications, acknowledgements, and remonstrations, we have the Employee of the Month for June, Mr. Griffin.
Mr. President, members of the council, town attorney, Mr. Butcher, thank you. I'm glad to do this. And I hope you all will forbear me. I'm a little jazzed because we had a really long and interesting redevelopment commission meeting that I had to be involved with at the end. You've heard me as many times as I've had the privilege to do this. One of the things I praise this council for is its decision to try as much as it can to recognize the employees who really are the first line of service. They deliver the services to all the people that we care about serving the most. And it's really special for me tonight. I'm going to ask that Linda Rosas, who is the administrative manager for the town, she's kind of like my right and left arm. I'm going to have her read the certificate, but we get to recognize somebody in town administration, Mr. President.
Wow.
And town administration is the place where the council resides in our organizational chart, if we had one, where I reside, where Ms. Rosas resides, where our media officer resides, where the security officials reside, and where the person we're going to celebrate in one moment, Mr. Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt is the fellow that does what sextons do in church, takes care of it when there's nobody around. And he does all those things that all of us notice when it's not there and aren't thankful enough when it is, every day reliably. You know, I often will allude to my personal faith. It's just mine, but sometimes I wear it. And in the tradition of my faith, we believe that the people who did the work he did, that took care of making things nice, who waited tables for people, became the first deacons. In fact, the book of Acts talks about the first 7 of them that get appointed just so the apostles don't have to spend so much time cleaning tables and the house so they can do more things that they felt called to do. Well, one of our best deacons is Robert Hunt, and I'm asking him to come up, please, as we celebrate him as our Employee of the Month.
I would not have written so much had I known I had to read it in public. But
Lesson learned, Linda.
right, okay. Robert Hunt has shown dedication above and beyond what is required of him every day. Even while fighting for his life during his cancer treatments, he tried to come in, refusing to let the town down. Bobby comes in on his time every weekend to clean or repair items that would disturb employees during the weekday and to take care of Merrillville's finest officers who work 7 days a week. He comes in on holidays to help with each and every town event without being asked or paid. Bobby is Merrillville family, and today we honor him and all that he does for the town of Merrillville and its employees.
We need to get our picture, please. Media officer insists.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Moving on tonight to public hearings, I'll call on Attorney Svetnov to help us with the proof of publication for ordinance 25-19. Mr. Svetnov.
The proofs of publication, Mr. President, are in order at this time, and the public hearing is necessary and should be conducted.
So we will open a public hearing now to discuss this ordinance 25-19 for bond proceeds for the RDA. Is there any public comment on this particular item? Hearing none, Mr. Svetnov, let's go to the second item of publication tonight, which is ordinance 25-20.
Mr. President, at this time, the proofs of publication have been reviewed. They are in order, and at this time, the public hearing is necessary and allowed by Indiana law.
Very good. We will open up for public comment. This is an additional appropriation for the town courts for, I believe, salaries. Is there any public comment on this ordinance? Let the record show no comment. We will take these up later on the agenda, councils. Moving on tonight to the consent agenda, you have the accounts payable register voucher approval for June 24th, the ARPA accounts payable register voucher approval for June 24th, the approval of the town council meeting minutes of June 10th, the fireworks agreements with RKM Fireworks, that's an updated version, the town manager employment agreement, and the Dean and Barbara White Community Center projector purchase quote approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Uselak, for a motion for approval of the consent agenda. And who was the second? Counselor Shi?
Yes.
Thank you. Open for discussion on the consent agenda. I know there's a lot of items on there. Hearing no discussion, all in favor of an approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That motion carries. Moving on tonight to standing committees, Budget and Finance, Counselor Neal.
Thank you, President Bella. We will start scheduling the meetings for Budget and Finance. I have a meeting with Chris on tomorrow. Just start looking at dates.
Good,
And
thank
that's
you.
all. Thank you.
Street Department, Mrs. Uselak.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. The street department has finished doing crack sealing on Whitcomb Street in Ward 4. And they are still picking up a lot of the branches that have accumulated through the town. And they have been mowing the parks, and street sweeping is still going on. That's all I have. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Council Affairs, Counselor Pettit.
Yes, Mr. President, I need to get with Michael and Joe on upcoming ordinances. I believe we have a couple on second and final reading tonight. So I will check with Michael on what is up next that we need to take care of.
Mr. Pettit, would you mind adding to your agenda for the committee meeting? I talked to Chief Nuzis, and it seems like we're writing tickets for the homes that aren't cutting the grass, but we just keep doing it over and over and over, and it just accumulates. And I think sometimes the homeowner doesn't care if they ever pay it.
Right.
So we need to investigate tacking that charge onto the tax rolls, not to lien on the house. And I know that, Joe, your office was working on that. We need some more teeth in it, because otherwise, we're not really hurting anyone.
Or we do a sliding scale. You know, first offense is $100, second offense is $250, third offense is $500.
Good.
And get them, people pay attention when it hits them in the wallet. It's that simple,
Joe, could
Are
you
we
do something
going
with that?
to hire a lawnmower contractor?
We have two companies.
Two companies.
Currently
Yeah.
contracted now.
Oh, okay, good,
So, yeah. So that's been removed away from the street department.
good.
We'll get with Michael on that.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Pettit?
That's all.
Thank you. Personnel policy and employee benefits, Counselor Hardaway.
No report.
Environmental affairs, Mrs. Uselak.
Well, the ponds have been cleaned like I reported before, and that's about all that I could report on at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Public safety, Ms. Hardaway.
Just to let Chief Nusis know and Chief Yerga, I will be calling a public safety meeting soon, so please send some dates so that we can get that scheduled. Thank you. No other report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Elections, Public Relations, and Town Beautification, Counselor Neal.
Thank you, President Bella. We are just waiting for, our gateway signs are all done and complete. We're waiting for those to be constructed. I need to do one more follow-up with Robertson Engineering, but everything with that is underway. And as far as things that Steve has done, everything is looking very pretty as far as all of the flowers and everything that he put down.
Great, thank you.
And that's it. Thank you.
Economic Development, Mr. Pettit.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Michael alluded to earlier, we had a redevelopment commission meeting that ran a little long. Some very interesting items. I want to applaud my fellow members for their approvals, along with Angie Chilcott and Joanna Guardiola for the work they've put in. We've got two tax abatements, preliminary resolutions for tax abatements that are going to be later on in the agenda. One is for a Korean company that selected Merrillville out of 6 state locations and landed in a Merrillplex. And then there was another company, Millennium Drywall, that is actually coming back to a Merrillplex at the Crossroads. Alan Tarpley's in the audience. So we approve those, along with the final work that Bob and Adam have done on the bond issue that is handling the fire station, Whitcomb Street, and the paving. We're going to be doing final resolutions later on in the agenda, and Adam can explain those when we get to there.
Thank you, Mr. Pettit. Utility Liaison,
No report at
Counselor.
this time, President Bella.
thank you. Parks, Recreation, and Dean and Barbara White Community Center.
Mr. President, we, as I alluded to with you and Michael, I postponed the meeting for Thursday night. I want to get with Jerry and Lisa and Michael and look at some things. I know that Geis Van Buren is in the audience from Core Construction. Once again, they are going to take care of the flooring with ICC. I believe you selected the materials, Lisa, and everything is in order for that.
Yes.
So I don't know if you have anything. Jerry had a excused absence. I don't know if there's anything else to add for right now.
Just, no, not as far as the flooring,
Okay.
just working with them, with Core.
Okay, and I will select a meeting date in July, Mr. President. Again, as we move forward, I know we've received a couple of letters on the new park board. And refresh my memory, Michael, I'm sorry, I forgot the deadline for those. What date did we make that?
I believe it was 30 days from the time that you acted, so I think we've got 2.5 more weeks that we'll receive them, assuming we get enough candidates. Right now, we have about 3.
Yeah.
So my hope is that we'll have more enthusiastic interest.
Well, and I know that there was a media release on that that Chaz did, which was really nice. So good job, Chaz. That's all.
Yeah, it was in the paper today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Special committees tonight, Abandoned and Blighted Properties, Counselor Shi.
Thank you, President Bella. Nothing to report for today.
Special Town Projects, Counselor Neal.
Oh, yes. Our fireworks event is coming up on the 4th of July. It will be starting at Madison Street on 80th, and that will be the silent section up until Broadway. And then we'll take that 80th all the way up into the Barbara and Dean Center. So it'll be moving, going.
That's the
north.
parade, right? The parade.
Pardon me?
That's the parade.
That's the parade, yes, the parade going north. After the parade, it will conclude with an event that will be held at Hidden Lake, and that event starts at 1 o'clock, so it's directly after the parade, and it runs until 10 p.m., and that will conclude with the fireworks. So the fireworks display will happen inside of Hidden Lake. Residents can do like they did back years ago. They can sit on Broadway and see them. They don't have to go into Hidden Lake to see them. There is a charge to get into Hidden Lake. It's $5?
10.
$10 per car to get in inside of Hidden Lake. They'll have a lot of festivities, food truck. They'll have different bands and activities. So it's a lot of things that'll be going on all day for the 4th of July. So that'll be probably one of our largest 4th of July events that the town has had in conjunction with Ross Township. And that's all. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Semi-Quincentennial Committee, Counselor Shi.
Thank you, President Bella. And the semi-quincentennial, project, that is going to be what is called the 250th celebration of Independence Day. And so that is various events throughout the year. So I will be constructing a committee, which will include residents as well as other elected officials and town people who are wanting to be a part of that. This does not just happen on July 4th, but again, throughout the year. So there'll be different events, and we just want to make sure on July 4th, 2026, that event is huge. And Mr. Griffin has also said that he would assist with this project. So we will be getting a board together soon, a committee together, either August or September. We're going to let this holiday pass, and then we'll work on that so that we can prepare for 2026. That is all.
Thank you. Moving on this evening to department and commission reports, stormwater management resources. Our director is Matt Lake.
Thank you. Now, really quick, Dyer Construction is almost done with our Hickory Ridge Flood Control Improvement Project. They're just waiting on NIPSCO to remove a gas line, actually relocate a gas line at 56 and Grant, and so that project will conclude sometime within the next month. Delta 3 has completed the Fillmore Boulevard project. Everything has been regraded, seeded and blanketed, looks great. The spoils from there is in the Sedona Detention Pond, which is going to be regraded to convert that into a dry basin. Right now, VACCON is completing the construction of our new jet vac truck. We'll take delivery of that in October. Our project at 69th and Connecticut is going to be done this week. So we've got a couple things to complete, just to remove the reverse siphon, a little bit of cleanup work, and that project will be completed. We already have approval and will be receiving very soon our reimbursement for the locale for half the cost of construction of that project. I completed mandatory NFIP training and a certificate through the Association of State Floodplain Managers. And we had a meeting this morning this afternoon, I should say, with American Structure Point. They're working on the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission's comprehensive watershed plan update. And consequently, we're doing our master plan update. And so we're able to coordinate and on future projects and cost estimates and things like that. So our plan will be, a lot of the elements in our plan will be part of their new plan. And so it's going to work out perfectly and dovetail right into their objectives and ours as well. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Matt. Northern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, otherwise known as NERPC, Councilor Hardaway is our representative.
Next meeting is August 21st, so nothing to report.
Very good. Thank you. Lake County Solid Waste Management District, Councilor Neal.
Thank you, President Bella. The next hazardous household waste and paper shredding collection is on Wednesday, July 2nd at Lowell Middle School from 2 to 6 p.m. That's a little bit of a different time than what they normally have them. So it's normally from 9 to 1. But this particular one is from 2 to 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 2nd at Lowell Middle School. And that address is 19250 Klein Avenue in Lowell, Indiana. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. The Shared Ethics Entity, Councilor Hardaway.
Next meeting will be July 9th, so nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Fire Territory Board, Councilor Neal and Hardaway, anything to report tonight?
Next meeting will
Is
be
tomorrow.
at 4 p.m., so nothing to report.
Okay. You'll be busy at the next meeting.
Yes.
Clerk Treasurer's Office, Mr. January.
Thank you, Mr. President Bella. The report is very brief. I wanted to announce that we are, for the first time, we're going to have a fiscal state of the town. I'm going to address a lot of the issues with the town this upcoming Thursday at the Dan Barbara White Community Center. Please tell your friends, neighbors, and everyone. And I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible about the town. And I've been bugging Bob. I think I will be calling Trista and Mr. Griffith. So, but I really thank you all for coming out, because I really want to provide some good information to help people understand where the town is at and understand where the councilors want to take us. And then other than that, we did get a recycling grant check for $206,983 that was receipted. And then one of the questions that I had in regards to doing a balance sheet for the town, did we have any pension liability? And I was asking the chief about it because we've got two different tiers of pensions. And we actually got a check that answered my question, $295,776.14. So that answered a question that I'll explain tomorrow, but on Thursday. But that concludes my report, but please tell your friends and family. It will be at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center. Doors open at 5:30, and it will end promptly at 7 o'clock. We can have questions afterwards.
Thank you, Mr. January. Department reports. Chief Newses, Police Department.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll start off with this. We have Coffee with a Cop coming up on June 26th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's going to be at Panera Bread. So that's going to be Thursday, June 26th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Panera Bread. Get a chance to meet and greet with some of our officers and have an opportunity to talk to them and kind of get to know them at more of a personal level. The other thing I wanted to address is that it appears as if the governor has signed a bill that would allow the tolling of all interstates in Indiana, and we are anticipating this to have a dramatic impact on our roads because people are not going to want to pay to go on I-65 or 80-94, and as everybody knows here, we already have a very busy town. Our roads are very frequented, so this is going to contribute. So we're trying to get a gauge and trying to get ahead of it to see if there's anything that we can do to be better prepared for it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Chief. Parks and Recreations, Lisa Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. The leagues are going very well. We've had a couple of snafus, but for the most part, the kids are learning, have a lot more than we thought we were going to have. Our garden club is now live on Rec Desk for registration, so once we have enough people signed up, we'll plan a meeting and we'll get planning for next year. We missed the window to plant this year. So we were thinking of just, trying to get ahead of it and talk about what we want to do and go from there. I'd like to encourage folks to please apply for the park board. Even if you aren't not sure of yourself, please do it because it could help us out in the long run. And we had our first daddy-daughter dance. The attendance was low, but the girls had fun, the fathers had fun. We did talk to them about maybe doing a couple of different dates and time changes. And I'd like to thank my staff, Kira and Andrea, for doing the decorations along with Cindy. They did a phenomenal job. They made it a very nice event. And I'd also like to thank Mike Neal for doing the DJing. He actually had some requests for many things like Annie and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and he was able to find music for it. So the girls had fun and the dads had fun, and I do have some pictures, and I will send them over to Chaz so he can put them on the website. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Lisa. Steve King, Street Department.
I really don't have anything to say other than, what was already said about what we're doing. We're really busy. Crack sealing, sweeping, picking up trash, beautification. I think all the plants have been planted. We're just maintaining now, and I think everything's looking good. So.
Mr. President, to Steve and actually Matt, I know in my area with the local road and street paving, you and I talked about Indiana American Water, and this is more for the residents since it's being broadcast. Indiana American Water is doing a water replacement through Indian Trail and Deer Path. So you will pave those after they're out, correct?
Yeah, they should be done hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, those are on the paving schedule. Indian Trail, Deer Path, Highland Road.
And then Matt, same with 69th and Connecticut, right? When they're out, we're going to go back in and pave Connecticut.
Yeah, we're going to pave the approach at 69th and Connecticut, just that little section there, that little part, that's it.
Okay.
That's all we're crossing is on the west side there.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Welcome.
Town Manager's Report, Mr. Griffin.
Mr. President, members of the council, you have before you the staff report. As you know, I've been tending to try to delegate a little more. This is actually prepared by the administrative manager, and it's a compilation of contributions from all the department heads, so you can have in one reading all their contributions. Unless you have a question about what's in there, I just commend it to your reading.
Thank you, Michael. Moving on tonight, councilors, to general orders. We have a first reading ordinance, ordinance 25-21. It is an ordinance to restore the appropriate undersignified unreserved cash on deposit to the Corporation General Fund to accounts in the Clerk Treasurer's Department and Planning Department for cost unplanned by these departments.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Pettit. Chair, I recognize Mrs. Uselak for the second on ordinance 25-21, first reading. Open for discussion.
One of the things that I would like.
Mr. January.
Sure. One of the things that I would request, just in terms of the budget, we have a part-time clerk or not, a full-time clerk, that's the only one on one line item. I'd like to have that move to the another class so that she can get paid basically on par with everyone else. It would be a biweekly increase of about $60. Just principle.
Okay,
Mr. President, with your permission,
go ahead.
these became necessary because of the series of steps that we're taking to deal with recreating the hazardous materials fund consistent with the statute. And it had some of these expenses that were being posted to it. So these additionals are really because revenue that was going in there that was actually supposed to go elsewhere will be redirected to the general fund and supported. And as you can see, we're moving the fire inspector from that fund into the planning department. And there were also some expenses that were associated with the clerk treasurer's office that needed to be moved. So that's the purpose behind this additional appropriation. The next sequence, as you're going to see in the ordinance at your July 8th meeting, that's going to reestablish the hazardous materials fund. And it'll be useful, I hope, because we'll follow the schedule of fees that the state fire marshal has that can be imposed when we respond to a hazardous materials spill. But we're trying to do this sequentially, and partly we had to do it this way so that we didn't complicate the payroll when it gets moved eventually. So please forbear us, but we hope that the council will favor this when it takes it up at its next meeting. That's the real purposes behind this.
So Eric, why don't we, this would not be the right mechanism to do what you're suggesting, but let's send it over to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Sure, okay.
And, because you're talking about an item on the salary ordinance, so that wouldn't be covered here.
Okay, all right.
Okay? Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. January, roll call, please.
Sure. Vice President Neal.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards.
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak.
Yes.
Councilman Pettit.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway.
Yes.
President Bella.
Aye.
7 in favor.
7 in favor, motion carries on first reading. Moving on tonight, on second reading ordinances, we have ordinance 25-19. This is the one we talked about earlier tonight, but a public comment's been done. It's an ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Merrillville appropriating the proceeds of bonds of the Merrillville Redevelopment Authority, including investment, earnings thereon, and related matters.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Uselak and a second by Mr. Pettit for approval of ordinance 25-19 on second reading tonight. Open for discussion. Seeing no discussion, Mr. January, could you call the roll, please?
Sure, Mr. President. Vice President Neal.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards.
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak.
Yes.
Councilman Pettit.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway.
Yes.
President Bella.
Aye.
7 in favor.
7 in favor, motion carries.
Mr. President, just as a follow-up, and I should have done this under discussion, I'm sorry. Adam, this is the last action the council will take on the $33 million bond, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up, though. Thank you, Sean. Moving on tonight, again on second reading, ordinance 25-20. It's an ordinance appropriating additional monies in excess of the current budget for the named department of the Corporation General Fund, all pursuant to Indiana codes.
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Neal, second by Counselor Shi, for approval on second reading of ordinance 25-20. This was also read earlier tonight with the public comment. Any other discussion by the council? Hearing none. Mr. January?
Sure. Vice President Neal,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards,
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak,
Yes.
Councilman Pettit,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway,
Yes.
President Bella,
Aye.
7 in favor.
7 in favor, our motion carries on second reading. Moving on tonight to resolutions. Resolution 25-23 is a special resolution articulating the sense of the town council urging the Indiana Department of Transportation to rename and designate a corridor crossing Indiana, specifically U.S. Highway 30, mile marker 15 to 16, as Sergeant William Gilbert Patterson Memorial Mile. And what I'd like to do, Mr. Griffin, if you can help lead this and have those who are here for this particular resolution come forward so we can.
Mr. President, I know that you can recognize State Representative Julie Altoff.
Hi, Julie.
She's an alumnus of the Plan Commission here at one point, I believe.
He was for many years.
Yes, and then I will hope that the people representing the Lake County Chris Anton Lodge, who actually posed the request, will introduce themselves, although I do recognize Councilor Emeritus Minchuk. But if you just
Hi,
would do
Jeff.
the courtesy, please.
Good evening, council, town staff. It's nice to see you all. It's been a little bit since I've been here. I am the vice president with the Chris Anton Lodge, number 125, which represents the Lake County Sheriff's Department. We are here solely for this resolution and to pay tribute to our fallen officer who died in 1994. We would appreciate your support here. It's kind of a long process, probably about a year or so before this will go through. Once it does go through and we get the specified area in the resolution, hopefully we can get some kind of a nice little small memorial or something out there. With me, I have our lodge president, Chris Akey, who kind of spearheaded the program. So if there's any further questions or if you have anything you want to say, Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Chris Akey, lodge president for 125. I want to thank State Representative Altoff for this and the town board for doing this and hopefully passing this tonight. As he kind of mentioned, Sergeant Patterson died 31 years ago, roughly, in a pursuit coming from Porter County where juveniles stole a car and they eventually T-boned him at 30 in Randolph, and he ultimately died there. His son would go on to serve on the department and raise the ranks of commander. His son has since retired, but is a civilian on our department at this time. I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Chris. Representative Alton.
Yes, thank you. I'll say a few words. Thank you so much for taking up this ordinance in short order. We thought that it would go through the city of Hobart, and as we all know, it gets real confusing out there.
Does, Julie? Really?
Oh, gosh, yes, the corner of Randolph and 30. So here we are. Sergeant Patterson is one of our own. He grew up in Hobart, went to Hobart High School, lived in Merrillville for the whole year before he passed away. He was very talented and skilled, flew airplane, helicopter, did 2 tours, and then served as a member of the sheriff's department. And then we lost him at the age of 44 in a tragic accident as he was doing his job, protecting us and chasing down the bad guys, as it were. So I urge you to support this. This is the last piece that I need for the application, which is due June 30th, which is why I'm very appreciative that you're hearing it tonight. From there, it goes to an interim study committee where they review all the applications. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't pass. And once it's approved by the interim Roads and Transportation Committee, then I do a resolution. I'm already partnering with Senator Mark Spencer, who you know, and we'll get it through next session in 2026. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
No, thank you. Ian, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to give a shout out to, Ian Dugan, Merrillville FOP Lodge President. I just want to give a shout out to President Chris Akey. This is something that he didn't have to do. Obviously, the time has since passed since this incident occurred. And this just shows his dedication to and attention to detail and pride for his lodge. And also a huge thank you to Representative Olthoff for spearheading this down at the State House. And thank you to the council, assuming you guys approve this. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Anything else to add, Mr. Griffin?
Mr. President, in addition to your usual signatures you'll have to, I have 4 copies here so that I can quickly get one to Representative Olthoff. One will go to you, Mr. Akey, as president of your lodge. And then I want to have one just because I'd like to.
Sure.
But we want to have these, so I'm going to run at the end of the meeting to get you to sign these, so I'll have them ready. If you don't stay for the end of the meeting, I'll make sure it gets to you before the end of the week.
Mr. Griffin, why don't we, as soon as we vote, to just pass that to Councilor Hardaway, and we'll just sign it as we get through the meeting, okay?
Will do.
Thank
I've
you.
got to wait for you to act.
Mr. President,
Oops, Jeff? Go ahead, Jeff. Anything else, Mr. Minchuk? Okay. Go ahead.
since this area happens to be in Ward 6, Representative Olthoff is one of my constituents. I'll be proud to make that motion.
I will second that.
Motion by Mr. Pettit. The chair is going to recognize the owner for the second.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other discussion from the council? Given the magnitude, a voice vote is fine, but Mr. January, let's do a roll call vote on this, please, for the record.
Sure, Mr. President. Vice President Neal.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards.
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak.
Yes.
Councilman Pettit.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway.
Yes.
President Bella.
Aye.
7 in favor.
7 in favor, motion carries, and we'll get copies signed for you tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Griffin, if we fall short at the state level, let's bring it up to the council again, because certainly there's something we can do on our easement right away there, signage or some type of tribute, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Mr. President, before we move on, this resolution is only being signed by you and Mr. January.
Well, then please pass it down and we'll take care of it.
Is that the way it's set up,
Mr.
Mike?
President, yes, that is customary under the statute for that, but if you would like to have some that have all of your signatures on it, I will redo that for you so that that's available, and we'll circulate that one too.
Okay.
The statutory references there talk about the signature of the president as attested to by the clerk treasurer, but I will have them all on there if that's important to the council for this particular resolution. I'll take care of that.
That'll be great. I'm just going to sign the one for now then, so we can get it to,
So Julie can
yeah.
take it.
Eric, sign one, please. Thank you, Mr. Pettit. Moving on tonight to Resolution 25-24. It's a preliminary resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Merrillville, Indiana, declaring an area in the town as an economic revitalization area and approving a real property tax abatement for Millennium Construction.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Motion by Mr. Pettit. Is there a second?
Second.
Counselor Shi?
Yes.
To approve Resolution 25-24. Mr. Pettit, why don't you,
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. The petitioner, Alan Tarpley, is in the audience. This would be located on 607 East 98th Avenue in the Merrillplex at the Crossroads. It would be 11,000 square foot warehouse office building. They are a minority women-owned business which specializes in the installation of drywall, fireproofing, metal framing, et cetera, and does business across the nation. They are relocating from within the region, making this facility headquarters for Northwest Indiana. It's a $2.5 million investment, creating 50 temporary construction jobs, of which Mr. Tarpley knows those will be union construction jobs. 22 full-time jobs. He's going to retain 12 and create 10 new jobs with an estimated annual payroll of $2.5 million. He is looking for the real tax abatement schedule according to Indiana code. This was endorsed by the Economic Development Committee, myself, Mrs. Uselak, Mrs. Neal, Ms. Patina, and then it was presented to the RDC with a favorable vote of 5-0. This is the first resolution. There will be an advertisement, Adam, and then we'll see the final declaratory resolution at the end of July. 10 days? Yes. Yeah.
Adam, would you approach the podium, please, in case there's any questions or comments from the council?
And I should note, Mr. President, that Mr. Tarpley is in the audience along with his contractor, and developer. If there's any additional questions.
Open for discussion. Any discussion or questions for the petitioner? Nope. Most of you already heard it, right, earlier?
Yes.
This is a resolution. A voice vote is fine. Is that right, Joe?
Correct.
Very good. We have a motion and a second on Resolution 25-24. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same sign. That motion carries. Congratulations. Moving on tonight to Resolution 25-25. It's a preliminary resolution of Town Council of the Town of Merrillville, Indiana, approving a real and personal property tax abatement, including creation of an economic revitalization area. Mr. Pettit.
Mr. President, I'm going to make a motion to approve Resolution 2525.
Is there a second? Councilor Neal?
Again, Mr. President, this is a tax abatement request. The representative, Tony Paquette from Chester, a local builder, will be constructing this warehouse for GI Tech America. There is a phase one of a 22,000 square foot facility on 3 acres of land at 10098 Delaware. I forget, Tony, this is a corner lot in Ameriplex, 100th Place in Delaware. Phase one is construction of a 22,000 square foot facility on 3 acres. Phase two will expand site to a 45,000 square foot facility. One of the interesting components of this, ladies and gentlemen, is that Angie and Joanna and Michael and the economic development team are bringing in international companies into the town of Merrillville. This is a South Korean advanced manufacturing company that specializes in slot die technology and advanced precision coating method. After an extensive 2-year site selection process evaluating multiple states, including Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana, and Ohio, they have chosen Merrillville to serve as their headquarters. Again, with our tax rate where it's at and the value of the land and the economic incentives that we can offer, I'm sure, Tony, that was probably one of the key components for GI Tech in selecting us. It's a $7.5 million investment in phase one, creating multiple temporary construction jobs, again, union construction jobs, 15 full-time permanent jobs with an estimated annual payroll of $1.35 million. They anticipate 35 permanent jobs, high-skilled jobs. Again, both petitioners realize it's not a demand, but it's an ask that you try to reach a goal of 10% Merrillville residents being hired. They will both participate in the job fair. GI Tech is asking for both real and personal. Again, this is the preliminary resolution, Adam. And again, I don't know if any of the redevelopments saw this with a 5-0 favorable recommendation. Again, Rhonda and Margie and I saw this at the committee at a 4-0 recommendation. If anyone has any questions, I'm sure Adam and Tony can answer anything in detail.
Thank you. Open for discussion, councilors.
I'm excited to have some manufacturing come back to the United States.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing. I'm not necessarily enthusiastic about 10-year tax abatements, but in this case, they're bringing some manufacturing back. So.
It's a graduated skill. Right. So at least it changes every year, right? Hearing no other discussion, we have a motion and a second for Resolution 25-25. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Tony.
Our next resolution this evening is 25-26. It's a resolution providing for the transfer of appropriation balances from and among major budget classifications in the Code Enforcement Department in the general fund as requested by the proper officer and forwarded to the Town Council for its action pursuant to Indiana Code.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Uselak. Chair will recognize Councilor Shi for a second. Is that correct?
That's fine.
All right. For Resolution 25-26. You guys are kind of together there, so. Any discussion on this? It's a decrease of $15,000 in the budget, an increase of the same amount. The net effect is zero. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Our next resolution is 25-28. It's a resolution approving and authorizing the agreement between the town of Merrillville through its town council, acting as the Works Board and American Structure Point for professional engineering and agricultural services associated with the new Fire Station 73.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Pettit with a second by Councilor Neal for approval of Resolution 25-28. Why don't we have Structure Point come up to the podium, please? This is a big project. Mr. Pettit, would you like to give us a little preference on this?
Yes,
Thanks.
Chris Murphy from American Structure Point is approaching the podium. As we all know, Chief Yerga and Deputy Chief Lilly have identified this location in the 9300 block of Colorado Street to locate a new fire station that American Structure Point is ready to design, and hopefully CORE will be the contract manager. The next resolution will build. This is one of the projects in the $33 million bond issue that we will be undertaking. This will help the ISO rating for the residents out in the Panhandle. Again, this comes from a strong recommendation by Chief Yerga. Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything to it.
Please do, Chris.
Good evening, council people. Chris Murphy with Structure Point. Appreciate you taking this agreement under consideration at tonight's meeting. I know in working with Councilman Pettit with regard to schedule of being able to deliver this project to the community as soon as we can. It's important for the project design, architectural work to get started as soon as possible. So with your understanding and direction tonight, with the approval of this agreement, that'll allow us to get started. With this time frame in mind, we look to have our construction documents ready for core construction sometime in the spring of 2026, so construction can start next year, and with construction complete sometime in 2027 for use by the community. We look forward to working with the town and Chief Yerga on this project.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Steve?
No,
You're looking at me, Steve.
I'm ready to go home.
Second.
Thanks for being honest.
Just say it.
Thanks for being honest.
That was a
been an
motion. You
hour.
got a second from somebody over
In
there.
an hour.
You can never pick up their three voices, but I picked it up.
That motion is out of order. There's a motion on the floor already. Mr. January, let the record show that Steve was ready to go at 7:30. Okay, it was a lot of business tonight. Any other discussion on this resolution? With this magnitude, I think we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. January, if that's okay?
Sure. Vice President Neal.
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards.
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak.
Yes.
Councilman Pettit.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway.
Yes.
President Bella.
Aye,
7 in favor.
7 in favor. Motion carries. Get to work.
Now, Chris, do I get a 10% discount as a repeat customer?
We'll discuss
Kennedy gave
that.
me a coupon.
Well, if you have a coupon, of course you do.
Better check the date on that.
Thank
Okay.
you, council people.
Thank you, Chris. Resolution 25-29 is a resolution approving and authorizing an agreement between the town of Merrillville through its town council, acting as a works board, and CORE Construction LLC for professional construction and management services associated with the new fire station number 73.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Pettit, second by Councilor Neal for approval of Resolution 25-29, authorizing the agreement with CORE Construction. We are all used to CORE Construction. They actually built the Dean and Barbara White Community Center, as well as many other projects.
We should probably invite Mr. Van Buren up to the
think
podium
we
just
should.
because he has that shirt on.
Let's get that pink shirt on record.
Quite bright today.
Thank you very much, council people, for having us here again. Definitely excited to deliver another building to the community with this fire station, working alongside Structure Point and the town to pull this off next year. So if there's any questions.
Mr. President, to Geis and Chris, because our chiefs are not here, you guys have done the 57th Avenue station, correct?
Correct, Station 74. Yeah,
74?
we're just completing that, yep.
All right, and then there's also projects going on at the 73rd Avenue station, correct? Aren't we building an accessory building?
Yeah, behind it, yes.
Behind it?
Yes.
Yep, and,
Okay.
Yep, we'll be doing that.
All right, so experience with the fire department.
Correct.
Okay.
I think while you're there, I want to go on record and thank you for taking care of the repairs at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center. I know that material selections is not your fault, but CORE has stepped up to cover the cost of those, to replace those items, to make the center whole again. And I want to thank you for doing that.
Yep, you're welcome.
Anything else from the council?
Just one other item, Mr. President, before we vote. I know Joe is working on it now. Next month, ladies and gentlemen, we will see the donation agreement that Joe has struck with the property owner, Burl Blitzstein from Polycon Industries, Big Sky LLC. Again, he is donating 6 acres that Joe has been working diligently on, and that donation agreement will be ready for us in July, Joe?
Correct.
So that will take care of, that will be actually the last step, and then these guys can get going.
Excellent. Anything else, councilors? Hearing nothing else, Mr. January, roll call, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Vice President Neal,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards,
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak,
Yes.
Councilman Pettit,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway,
Yes.
President Bella.
Aye.
7 in favor.
7 in favor, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on tonight to public comment. Please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record, and we allow 3 minutes if anyone would like to make a public comment.
Good evening, Town Council. Brian Messarch, 68th Place. I'd like to thank you guys for pushing the fire station out in southeast Merrillville. It's a place where it's really needed, and I was championing that for quite a long time. The situation with, hopefully, with the gentleman from CORE Construction will be more than happy to donate to the Firefighters Memorial and help building that at 73rd Madison. And hopefully we can make it an emergency responders park. That would be awesome if their company would step up, since they're doing so many building projects for the town of Merrillville. I would like to personally thank Linda Rosas, who was here earlier. Last week, I came in to turn in some forms and some letters, and she informed me that I missed something. She took the time out of her day to read the form to me, because I could not read it myself because of my eyesight. She helped me fill it out. She took about 20 to 30 minutes, and she didn't have to. And while a lot of people are getting praised, sometimes Linda often is forgotten, and she does a lot. And so I'm going to publicly praise her now. Finally, it would be probably not too good for me not to say something about these tax abatements, because I am not a fan of tax abatements. At some point in time, we need to figure out a different way to attract businesses to our community. While having manufacturing and whatnot coming to town is great, we need to find something other than 10-year tax abatements, because at some point in time, it's going to hurt us not having that tax money. Maybe a shorter than 10-year, maybe some other financial instrument, but we need to find different ways to make Merrillville attractive to these companies. I personally believe that Merrillville is in an awesome location. We're the heart of the region. Let's let that sell itself. At some point in time, I just feel like the tax abatements need to go away or be lessened. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ian Dugan, Lodge President of Merrillville, FOP 168. It's my understanding there was some discussion at the last council meeting regarding town manager's salary. I just want to stand before you and simply say that it's the belief of the FOP that Mr. Griffin and his unmatched knowledge, invaluable skill set, and obvious dedication to the town has become essential to our town's function, and his ability has become essential to the town's function and ability to provide the best service possible to the citizens, and he deserves just compensation. The FOP would like to urge the council to do whatever it takes in order to keep Michael Griffin amongst us here with the Merrillville family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing? Fred Hunt, 7945 Wright Street, Merrillville. The Foxmore Association, we are having issues with fencing contractors installing fences without permits, and we're seeking some help here.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you see that happening, can you contact the planning and building office here at Town Hall?
That's what I'm looking for. Where do I go from here?
That's what you would do, yes.
Planning and building.
Planning and building.
You did submit online.
Okay, good.
Under code enforcement under that planning department.
And one
When you
more.
say you're having some problems,
So contractors are coming in installing fences, and we're not giving them permission. So that means they're not going to see anyone about getting permits to install, because we're not approving the fences.
right, and that's part of your bylaws or your covenants?
Right.
Yeah, covenants, yeah.
Covenant.
Okay,
And one more, what about digging? There's also some digging going on, putting in what they call French drains. I noticed that the other day, some trenches being dug.
yeah, that's not allowed either, and that would be, Mr. Lake would be responsible with stormwater management.
Stormwater
Because people don't realize, I mean, they may be helping themselves, but they're hurting someone else down the
Right,
line.
exactly.
So we're all in that together as far as drainage goes,
Okay.
for sure.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Hi, Helene Perro, 7860 Wright Street, Foxmore subdivision. Just wanted to thank Mr. King there for the removal of the furniture. It was really done in an expedited fashion. I appreciate that. And then we had put in a work order online for the streetlights. It looks like 5 out of the 8 are working now. I just wondered if there was an issue with some of the other ones.
The actual issue with the streetlights is the rodents. Mice get in there and they eat the wires, and it's a constant battle, not only in Foxmore, but throughout town. We put rodent screen protectors on there, and they just take them out and just eat the wires. It's been a problem for a long time.
Okay. What if a streetlight is buzzing? It's really making a lot of noises?
Could be a balancer. We could look at it.
Okay, I'll put in another work order
Yeah.
then. All right, and thank you very much, everyone.
Welcome.
Chief, can we arrest the rodents if they're eating the wires? Okay. It's been that kind of night.
Morocco mold and friends.
Announcements tonight, Town Council meeting. The next one is July 8th at 6:30. The 4th of July parade starts at 12 o'clock going south down Broadway from 79th. The 4th of July festival and fireworks at Hidden Lake. Sorry?
North. Broadway.
Excuse me. Yes, it's going north down Broadway. Thank you. The job fair, as we know, is on July 9th at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center. And that's all I have for tonight. If there's no objection, I will adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you all.
Second,
Third, fourth.
Yes.